In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, welcome to the show. I'm SithLord. This is the build stream here on the Somnium Space live streaming channels, which you are all currently tuned into right now, otherwise you would not be hearing the sound of my voice, which I just confirmed is coming through. Today I got some stuff to show and some stuff to do. The first thing I'm going to show is the ability that's been added into the newest version of Somnium Web, and that is the ability, or Somnium Web and Web Worlds, and that's the ability to watch things together. So I've prepared a test subject to join me in this web world. Tell him we are live. Say hello. And he is a human. There he is. He's moving around. He's alive. Hey, cool. Let's go watch some videos. After we say our hellos, bonjour, we're gonna stroll on over here into the video watching section. He's following me. Nice, nice. Wait a second. I might have to refresh here. Let's try this again. We'll try this again in just a second. I'm gonna go ahead and do a hard refresh. And after I drop back in here, we'll be doing a take 2. Perfect. Okay, so walking, we're doing it live. All right, so hello everybody. Today we're going to be showing you the new feature in Somnium Web that lets you watch things together with other people. So we have a test subject over here, prepared to go. I'll ask him a test question to make sure he's in the right version. Is the raptor behind me scrolling is the question. Perfect. If the raptor scrolls, we're good to go. Let's watch retro stuff together. We are acting now. Just to let him know. Woohoo, we are acting. Yeah! We're acting for the VOD. Okay, here we're going to start watching this thing. And I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click view together. And we are both now. You can't hear the audio from in-game. I have it muted for copyright reasons on the stream. But we're both watching the video. And I'm going to cheer and say, woo! This person's new, so he's acting. What's interact button do? Lets you interact with the iframe, but don't, because I'm about to change videos. Let's watch Mugen. I go over here, and I click view together, and now we're all watching Mugen. Mugen is fighting together, fighting the custom characters against each other. Okay, so what's happening is everything that I click on is synced. Low on sleep core time. And I click that, and now it's switched us over to watching this other screen. Can you full screen? Yeah, if you interact. YouTube should have a full screen button. All right, so there we are. We have, see, he turned around and looked at the screen because that's the screen that's on for him too. We are synced up and watching stuff together. Let me turn that off. All right. Another new thing, let me spin the camera around before I say this. Another new thing in today's update. I do. I keep changing the channel. Another thing that's in the new update is the scrolling texture and what I'm about to show in the next room. One more thing to show. And this is going to lead into the build stream that I'm about to do. So we're going to stroll on over here with my friend. Oh, actually, before I show you the other thing, let's watch a video out in the lobby area here. Where did he go? He's supposed to be following me. There, okay? And we're going to click on this and we're going to view it together. And now we're viewing this video together. Woo! Okay. Next up, in this other room with the scrolling Velociraptor, is let me turn this off. Okay. So before, when you click on something, you can set it up to open in the same tab or open in a new tab. So a portal to something else, you might want to set up as a new tab, or it's open in the same tab. And now you can do that when you're building your web world, and it's going to add a "Go There Now" button to it. And you can control which buttons appear on each menu. So this is a parcel that Somnium owns, and when you click on it, you can open it in a new tab, open it in which is open in browser, view it in the world, or there could be another one that says "Go There." And that's what it's about. Now, I'm about to jump into the Web Worlds SDK to show why that's important and why I actually need to set that, configure some of that on this stuff in here right now. So let me say goodbye to my friend. That's all. Thanks for helping me test the show the new feature. Gonna start talking about dev stuff now to the stream. Okay, so thank you very much. And now let's talk about the dev stuff. The dev stuff Web Worlds SDK. That's the stream that we're talking about right now, the Somnium Web Worlds SDK. And when you're making web browser objects, which I'll be talking about a lot today in the Web Worlds SDK, is you want to control where things can open, because things like an OpenC listing, when you view things in world, they open in what's called an iframe, and an iframe is not compatible with all sites. So, like the OpenC listing for this this parcel that Somnium owns in voxels, the listings for it doesn't work in an iframe, but it works in a new tab. So when somebody clicks on this, when somebody visits my world here and they click on the OpenC listing that I have on the wall, which you very much might have on your wall, you don't even want to show them the View in World button, because the View in World button doesn't work for this URL. And you know that it's not going to work as soon as you test it and you go in there and like, hey, it shows this symbol over here implying that it doesn't load in an iframe. What do I do? Well, I'm going to show you what to do to fix that today in the stream. The other thing I'm going to show in this world is I'll be tweaking a couple things. Mostly that. But what I'm going to show you that's more substantial than that is I'm going to show you how to update your Web Worlds projects to the newest Web Worlds SDK, so you can take advantage of the new and improved web browser objects, and the scroll objects, which I will be covering today, hopefully in a very smooth fashion, which is worthy of cutting a highlight of. So let's get down to it. When updating to the Web Worlds SDK to the newest version in your old existing projects, what you'll want to do is go again to the GitLab where you first started your Web Worlds venture, and you'll see that it has been updated with a new Web Worlds template. We are now on version 0.1.1. 0.1.0 is what we were on last time. So there's a new version. You need to download that zip. That'll get you started. You're going to use that zip in just a moment. After you download that zip, and to download the zip, you click on it, and then you click the little download button up there. So that's, you click on the file, then you click the download button. That'll give you just the zip. Then scroll down in the README to the new part that says SDK Update Guide. SDK Update Guide. That's what we're going to be going through together right now as we make this thing work. And by that I mean we're going to be updating our SDK version. We're going through the process of updating the SDK version. So let's get to it. Updating, I'm going to read this like I'm a teacher reading the book. Updating the SDK version in your old Web Worlds is optional. That's a good point. You don't need to update. So if you've already deployed a bunch of Web Worlds, the Web SDK is backwards compatible, so your Web Worlds are still going to work fine. You only need to update them and re-upload them if you want to take advantage of the new stuff. So, however, if you want to use the features that are only available in the newest SDK version, you'll want to update your project. I just said that. That's probably why it's not a good idea just to read the book. First, open both projects up. So that means open up the new one that you created off the new version of the SDK zip and open up the project that you're trying to update. So I'm going to do the first step that I actually didn't do, even though I explained it a second ago. I'm going to download the Web Worlds SDK template v011. Now that I've done that, I'll go back to the instructions. Oh yeah, I was opening both projects. First, open both projects up. I could do that. So we're going to click upload. I already tested this, but let's pretend like I didn't. Here, let me just rename this so it's not as confusing. So much for the clean cut VOD. I'll just name this outdated as test so it doesn't get confusing. We'll edit this out in post. Okay, now going back to my projects list, we're going to create a new one. No, we're going to import a project. That's what it means. When you download the zip of the SDK, we got to import it into our project list here on Play Canvas. And here it is, Web Worlds Web Worlds template version 0.1.1. That's the one. Just double click on that zip and away it goes, or up it goes. And then we're going to open this up in this browser, and then I left the Web World in the other tab there because I'm going to open that up. What's it called? It's called Theater. Movie theater. We're going to open this project up. Okay. So I have the Web Worlds template opened up. Here's what the new Web Worlds template looks like. Very much like the old one with a couple different examples in it. And then there is my huge, massive project here of the theater. And we're going to do a couple things with it. But first I'm going to go through the process of updating the SDK. And let's follow the steps for that. I actually already did the process on this particular world, but it doesn't stop us from going through the motions as if I had not. So let's do that. What's the next step? Both of our projects are open and we can switch between them. Next, we're going to delete the old Web Worlds prefab asset folder. This is important. That's why it's in bold and it says important. We have to make sure that none of our own assets are inside of the Web Worlds prefab folder or any of its subfolders that we're about to delete, because we're going to delete that in the next step as we update it to the new version. So the Web Worlds prefab asset folder, what does that look like? Let's see. It's in the asset panel down here, and there it is, the Web Worlds prefab. It's got a bunch of files in it. And if you go into the asset subfolder, it's got more files in it. And there's another folder in here, but hopefully you don't have to go too deep. there should not be any of your own assets in here. There's not by default, but if you happen to have assets in here, if you weren't paying attention and assets of your own assets ended up in the prefab folder, like they were for me when I was testing this out, updating a bunch of old projects. You have to move them out of the asset of the Web Worlds prefab folder before you delete it, for obvious reasons. You don't want to delete your own assets, right? You only want to delete the Web World assets. So, in your own project, you're going to find the Web Worlds prefab folder. You're going to go through it and make sure that it doesn't have any of your own custom assets in it. You should be able to recognize your own assets because it's things that you would have uploaded. Anything that you didn't upload, that's stuff that is not yours. Now that I've confirmed I don't have any of my own assets in here, I'm going to delete the Web Worlds folder right here. Right-click on Web Worlds prefab asset folder and delete it. There and there. It's so scary to do that. That's why you have to be really sure that you removed all of your important assets before doing that. Okay, what's next? Then paste in the new prefab asset folder. Okay, I'm supposed to switch to the Web Worlds template, copy out its folder, switch back to my old project, paste it in. All right, here's the Web Worlds template. Here's the folder I want to copy, so right-click copy. Go back to my movie theater project, right-click on the root, so I'm pasting in at the root, and paste. And now my Web Worlds project folder is back. Awesome, okay. Now what? Let's see, and then paste in the new asset folder. Okay, finally, we want to reparse. We want to click the reparse button on updated scripts. This is a very technical step that's important that you do to make sure that you get the correct default settings on all of your already existing Web World objects. And I'll show you what I mean by that. When you click on the Web World thing, you have all these new options, or I'm sorry, when you click on the web browser object in your Web Worlds SDK scene here, you got all kinds of new options down here. You used to only have URL, but now, based on user feedback, I believe, most of these things I've seen mentioned in the discourse and stuff like that. Resolution, you can control the resolution of your web tab. So if you're gonna put a web browser object that has your website on it, and your website is designed to be shown at large resolutions only, then you'll need to be able to specify that so that the plane that displays your web browser, your website on it, your web browser object here, is high enough resolution to make your layout look correct. Now, usually you should just leave resolution on auto. What auto means is that websites will be a certain resolution. The resolution happens with a pixel to unit ratio measurement kind of thing, scale, pixel to unit scale. So when you just set something like low, medium, or high, the pixel to unit scale will just be a constant thing. So that means that like a big giant screen would have a really high resolution because it's a large screen, while a small screen will have a smaller resolution because it's pixels to unit kind of a scale thing. So if you want to set a specific one, you can say, okay, I want high resolution. That way it'll show your website on a high resolution thing, higher than normal. You could do medium, which is still kind of high. You could do low, which is actually the default. Or you could do auto. Now, auto is nice because auto treats videos differently than actual web browser, like websites. When you're watching a video on a gigantic screen, it doesn't really need to be super high resolution. It doesn't need to be like a 4K video screen when you're just streaming like a YouTube video to it. And that screen, it's big in the world, but people will be standing far away from it. And you don't want to render like 4K video onto a surface that's only going to take up like an inch on somebody's screen. That's what auto does. Auto makes it so you don't have to choose you don't have to choose low specifically. And it also makes it so the resolution of the video playing happens regardless of the size of the screen. So it unbinds the resolution from that pixels per meter thing to just like, hey, this is the resolution that we want because it's a video and it doesn't matter how big it gets. So auto is what you normally want. If auto doesn't solve your needs, then you'll want to try one of the other features. I'm kind of going into depth about each of these new properties. That's okay. This could still be a good learning VOD. Also, a new thing is if you hover over any of the properties in the Web Worlds SDK here, it gives you a description of what the new property or what the property does. Autoplay is a new property I'll talk about right now. It lets you automatically start the media object as soon as somebody drops into the space. You'll want this if you have something like you are making a world, a parcel build around your own like Twitch stream or something, and you obviously are at the center point with your stage right there with your Twitch stream, and you just want to make sure that as soon as everybody drops into your parcel, they don't have to click anything. They see your live stream on the wall, if that's what you have on the wall. Or maybe you're making a headquarters building and you have a really nice introductory video. You're hosting it on YouTube or wherever, it doesn't really matter, as long as it plays in an iframe. You could throw that in your web browser object, huge screen in there, and you check the autoplay button, and everybody that visits your headquarters sees your introduction as soon as they drop in. That's a nice thing to have too. But especially the live stream thing, very good for that because it's always live. So it's not repeating, showing the person the same thing every time they drop in, because otherwise you got to be careful that if somebody comes back to your parcel like 10 times, they're going to see that video play 10 times if you're not intelligent about the kind of stuff that you put on autoplay. Stuff like background music, that's probably a good match. Live streams, good match. Introductory video is a pretty good match, but you just got to be conscious that every time somebody visits, they'll see it. Okay, moving on to the next new property in the list here is UI text, thumbnail, and these different buttons. Let me jump back into the current version of the web world to show you what I mean with these different options. More specifically, to show you where they show up. Oh, wait a second. I can't just go into this yet. I'm still in the middle of updating the project. Oh man, I kind of screwed up my VOD here, but let's just stay on topic and finish it out here. These remaining things, UI text, UI thumbnail, and the options for which buttons to show in the menu, those all impact the menu that visitors see when they click on your web browser object. Sometimes you want them to be able to just go straight to the thing in the same web tab that you're in, like if you're linking to another one of your own parcels, or if you're linking to something that links back to your parcel, you want to do it all without opening new tabs. So when people come back to your parcel, they don't have like two versions of Somnium Web open, they just have that one. So they go somewhere, then that thing sends them back. It's really useful for that kind of setup. Another new thing that you can do with the new web browser objects is you can make generic 3D objects in your world be linked either to a new tab or in the same tab, or and they can be web browser objects. Now, they don't have a screen. When you use a 3D object instead of like something like that plane for your web browser, when you use a 3D object for your web browser, there is no screen to show stuff on. So view in world, it's not an option when users in Somnium Web click on your 3D object link here. So there's no screen to show it on for view in world. However, it's still super useful for opening up in a new window. So let's just use the virtual shop example. Let's say that you had your shoes that you're selling, a 3D model of them, sitting there on the pedestal. Somebody goes up and clicks on it, and it opens the OpenSea listing for that shoe in a new tab. You can do that now. It used to be that you had to have a 2D screen associated with web objects, and you had to use that flat collision plane. But now you can assign the web browser object script to any object as you could before. But the difference is now if the object has collisions itself, which means it's got the collision modifier, and you also want to put a rigid body modifier on it so it can actually be clicked. If it has those things, then Somnium Web's going to automatically understand, like, okay, this thing has its own collisions. It's going to be something you can click on directly to instead of having the in-world screen. And the other thing is scrolling materials which we saw with the scrolling raptor, but I'll just briefly talk about here as I wrap up and finish my update to the new version of the SDK. This is associated with the texture scroll manager. The texture scroll manager, which is the script here, it lets you define as many materials as you want for scrolling. So if you have special effects like clouds, like water, like a ticker texture that has words on it that you want to scroll past by like that, or arrows on the ground that scroll, any of that good stuff, you would just add the materials to the this array here of materials to scroll. And when you'd set the direction and speed here, this is the speed and direction, X, Y. Check the boxes for which material layers you want to be involved in the scroll, because you can actually get some really interesting effects if you do things like only scroll the emissive or only scroll the opacity, but don't scroll the diffuse or the normal. It has a very different look to it. So you could do that per material. And when you get into the test thing, I just want to show you real quick what it looks like when they scroll. And there it goes, scrolling off to the side. The texture scrolling, that works right here in the test in the debug window. The web browser objects, they won't work until you actually put the thing on a parcel to test out. But they do work after you do that. So let's finish updating our project. So we were in the middle of it. We just pasted in the Web Worlds prefab folder into here, and now we're on the step where we have to click reparse on the updated scripts. They're in the asset panel at this path, and the ones I have to reparse are these two, because they're the ones that changed, and we want to make sure we get the good default values for all those new attributes that we can set for web browser objects that I just mentioned. So we go over to that path in the Asset Explorer. We find the two scripts. There was webworlds.js. You left click on it to select it, and then over here in the right panel, there's a parse button. You click the parse button, it waits for a second, then it comes back. You're done with that one. Let's do it to the next one. Web browser object, parse. It waits a moment as it updates all the things you have in the scene that reference the script, and bam, we're done. That's it. And that'll do it. Your web world will be on the newest SDK, and existing entities in your world that used scripts that were updated will be given valid default values for the new script properties when you reparsed the script, like we just did. You can now rebuild your web world and upload it to your server. Okay, but before we do that, let's make a couple changes. Here are those changes. This thing here, this 3D model, I want you to be able to click on it and it take you to a video. The same video that this thing up here plays. I just want it to take you to that video. Okay, I need to adjust some things in the SDK for that. And then over here, the thing that I mentioned a bit earlier in this segment, when I click on the OpenSea and I say view in world, it doesn't work. So I'm gonna make it so the view in world button is gone. It's not even there. Cool, okay, close in world. I need to check something out here. Let's view this in world. I need to see if on the Somnium Space Web Parcel, or the Somnium Space Parcel in voxels here, if it has a portal back to us. Let's see if it does. It might. No, it doesn't. Okay, so since this won't be that scenario where you link to something and then it links back and you don't want to have a whole bunch of tabs open, this doesn't link back, so we don't have to worry about that. So one thing we're going to do is we're going to adjust the settings on this thing, let me close it down, to not have the go there now button. We don't need it, because if we go there, we want to go there in a new window so we don't lose where we're at here. Or we want to view it in world, so we don't really need the go now button. So I'm going to go there, I'm going to take off the go now button that I added on there. I'm going to take off the view in world button, which also makes the view together button go away. I'm going to add some text titles above these things. I'm going to add images. See where it says the web browser image there? I'm going to make that show an image that I actually want to show there. And I'm going to do all those things super quick. Maybe I'll make another texture scroll. We'll just see what we can pull off with that. And then I'm going to redeploy, and we're going to do all this super quick within the next hour and a half. So let's switch on back over to the play canvas editor, which has the Somnium Web Worlds SDK prefab project loaded up already because we've been messing with it all morning. If I click on my object here, which is the Web Worlds prefab, we see that we're good here because we refresh the script. It says we're the correct SDK version right here. It's the only one available, and each script will be the current version. We're good to go. Now, I already started setting up this thing with a web world browser object, but I failed to give this thing a collision. That's why it didn't work in the world. So let's give it a collision. We need physics, collider, physics, rigid body. Our collider's a box. That's good. A box is good enough collisions for me, but it needs to be the right size here because the collisions don't need to be totally accurate for this thing. I just want to be able to click on it and not be able to walk through it. That'd be nice too, because right now it's not solid and I just walk right through it. That's weird. Okay, so that's that. Everything else is pretty good. Let's change some things here. Oh, right here, where it says UI text. We don't want to say UI YouTube link test. No, we're gonna make it say watch movie trailer. Watch movie scene. Watch movie scene. Okay. And I already have the URL on there that I use elsewhere, so we're good there. The resolution doesn't matter because this is going to open in a new tab because there's no screen attached to this taxi cab police car thing from the future. So we don't need to worry about the resolution. Autoplay doesn't apply. View in world doesn't apply. Open a new tab does apply, and the go button does apply. We don't want a go button. We do want the new tab button. So we're good. When we click on this, it's only going to have one option: open a new tab. That's what we want. But let's control the image that it shows. Let's find a Fifth Element police car wallpaper. Okay, maybe there's one of these. Cool. Now we're gonna copy this thing, do a little image processing. Actually, I'm just gonna set this thing to the height. That'll do, and we'll just save it over here as car thumb. And now that I have the texture I want to use existing, we're going to upload it by dragging and dropping it into the Asset Explorer, as one does when using the Web Worlds SDK. We'll drag and drop the image into here. Now here's something important. Don't basis compress the textures that you're going to use in the UI. Like I just did, how I assigned it to show in the UI for the UI image. The reason is the UI can't load basis compressed textures. Only the game engine can load basis compressed textures. So if you're using an image, a texture here, a texture image, specifically for the purpose of displaying in the UI, do not basis compress it and everything will work out fine. All right, so I didn't basis compress. I rigged up everything that I wanted to rig up, which is mostly the title and the thumbnail and the buttons. I didn't need to change much else. Cool, let's move on to the next one. The next one was this web surface here. It does not need a go button after all, and I want it to show an image instead of the generic image that shows when I click on it. Instead of showing that, I want it to show a different image. Why not just show what I already have in there? There might be reasons, let's see. Because if I messed with the resolution aspect ratio of this thing, which I did. Okay, so let's find well, here, let's download this thing and just make another version that's the right resolution. Instead of getting a new screenshot and not messing with the resolution, or like the aspect ratio, I'm just going to try to fix this one. That looks pretty good, and then we'll save this as thumb. Okay, where did this one go? It went to the downloads. And drag and drop it into here. My cat wants something. I'll fix it in a second. And then over here, we're going to use it. So this is what? SomVThumb, and the text that we want is Somnium Space Parcel in Voxels. Okay. Somnium Spaces Parcel in Voxels. That looks good. We have open in a new tab and we have open in world. Both those sound good. We might as well just have a go button. Yeah, we might as well just have a go button because this is the exit sign, exit room after all. However, the thing is, if you have a go button and the place that you're going to doesn't have a link back, like I went to that parcel earlier to see if it had a link back, people aren't going to get back unless they type in the URL. So, don't just click have a go button everywhere. You got to think like, well, how are people going to get back after they go there? Eventually, we do want to have a portal back from the other parcel, so I'll put a go button there. But normal circumstances, you wouldn't want a go button unless there's a link back. This thing over here for the OpenSea listing. Here we go. Voxels parcel. OpenSea. Okay. So I gave it a title. We do not want it to show the in-world button, because like I mentioned earlier, that's not going to work because that OpenSea doesn't allow itself to be viewed in an iframe. We do want to open in a new tab, and we don't want a go button because why would we want a go button? People don't want to leave our site to go look at the listing. They want to look at the listing in a new tab. Okay. Oh, the image. Let's make an image here. I'm going to just try to fix the resolution of this image. Here's why I have to download these things and fix the resolution. When I made these images, I was making them square so they'd be optimized as textures, but I didn't think ahead in that, try that again. In that these images might be displayed in the UI, and if I would have done that, if I would have thought ahead, I wouldn't have made them square. I wouldn't have messed with their aspect ratio. This is SomV parcel OpenSea. Okay. That. And now on this object, we want to upload it. There. That will be our thumbnail image now, showing on the menu when it opens up. That's all the changes we wanted to make there. The scrolling velociraptor. Let's try a little scrolling things. Maybe. I wonder how this works with batch groups. I don't know. Now if this thing has opacity, it's additive. So if I scroll, it's going to scroll the whole thing. And that's probably not what I want because that look weird on the seams, right? Would. I'm just trying to think through. Are there anything that any textures in here that I want to scroll? I don't really think that there are. I mean, scrolling the raptor was a stretch. It looks awesome, but I don't want to set up any more additional scrolling textures here. So I'm done with this one. The scrolling textures are in here though, and I set them up somewhere right here on the texture scroll manager. I assigned the Som text scroll manager script to it. I added one to it and I put the laser raptor in it. I told it to scroll emissive 0x to only go straight up. And that's why it does that. Or straight down. Oops. Okay, so we are done making changes to our web world that we have just updated to the newest version of the Web Worlds SDK. Let's republish this and re-upload it and see what it's like to do such things. So, normal build process, we're going to click Manage Scenes, Build and Publish, Download Zip. We're going to check a couple boxes just out of habit, select all, optimize scene format, and download. It's going to prepare the build for us, and then we shall download. I'm going to be uploading this in the next step to a GitHub GitHub Pages repo that I set up last time when I first published this project. So you want to go to the zip you just downloaded. You want to unzip it. Let me make sure I don't already have a folder in here called this. No, we're good. We're gonna unzip the build that we just downloaded, and we're gonna upload that to GitHub. We're done with the project here, the Play Canvas project. We're going to github.com. We're going into our we're gonna find the repo that we already made. Theater Som World, here we go. We already have this repo set up. We created a new repo and we added the .nojekyll file to it so it would work the way that we wanted to on GitHub Pages. And we went into the environment settings here, or we went into settings. No, we went into pages. We went into settings, then we went into pages, and then we set the branch to be the root. And then we were all good. Okay, so we've already done all that. And now we just want to update this existing project to the new build. To do that, we're just going to click Add File, and we're going to upload files. There's many ways you could do this. This is one easy way. Here are all the files we just unzipped. Be sure you unzip them first this time, because when they go to GitHub, they have to be unzipped. Drag and drop them in there. Let it do its thing. While it's doing that, I'll just type in the comments here. Updated to utilize new Web Worlds SDK attributes. Okay. Now, this is uploading to the GitHub repo. The GitHub repo with GitHub Pages is set up to automatically turn it into a visitable web page, anything that I upload. And this is all free, by the way. So if you don't have your own website, you don't have your own web space, you're not a webmaster, it doesn't matter. You're okay. You just got to get to github.com, create a free account, create a free repo, follow the directions in the Medium article here on creating a new web world, and you'll be exactly where I'm at right now. And it's going to be a pretty awesome place to be in just a moment, as we will see. So it's almost done uploading our Laser Raptor and all of the test files. Okay, so after it's done uploading, we have to click the commit changes. So it's done, we're gonna commit the changes, and then it's gonna say processing files for 1 moment. There's 2 different loading progress bars we're gonna be looking at right here, right now. This is one. This may take a few minutes to complete. Let's hope not. Let's hope it takes a few seconds to complete. Okay. So the GitHub, the repo is updated. The environment here, the GitHub Pages, that's what we gotta wait to get updated. So let's go over here. It's deployed. We're good to go. Okay, view deployment to test. It takes me to my GitHub username.github.io, and when I walk around here, it's exactly the same as it was when I was testing from the SDK thing. Awesome, which means that if I walk over here, I should bump into that, but I'm not. Why am I not bumping into that? Did this not update? Oh, okay, it didn't. Let me close this. So I refreshed the page and it says, look, there's another deployment that's waiting. It's queued. It's queued. That's why I walked through my vehicle. It's because they have not taken my repo and pushed it to my GitHub Pages. That's the loading bar I'm looking for here. I'm actually going to just click and refresh. There, okay, now it's done. It only took 37 seconds. And now, when I go here, I will bump into this thing indicating that the correct newest version is hosted on my GitHub repo. No, it didn't. You know what? It's probably because I was just here in this browser. So let me do a empty cache and refresh. If I would have just closed the browser and came back, that probably would have been enough. But I'm pretty confident now. Yes, I collided with that. My sample guy is invisible. So I might need to amend the instructions a little bit on here to make your little sample guy not invisible, because that is annoying. But other than the sample guy being invisible, everything was good. Let's continue on with this. So we have the URL. Here's the thing. Okay, here's the live web world over here. I already went to this parcel and I already went to this menu in the past to get this version on here. And I already set the URL to that GitHub repo URL right there. So I don't have anything to change at all on my parcel. I just need to refresh. And that should be enough for me to get the newest version. So let's try that out. Excuse me. I'll log in here. I will have a person here. It's only the little test person that turned invisible for me. Now, I bump into the car. Okay, that's good. Now when I click on the car, I'm standing on the car. I can't click on the car. Okay, let's try the other stuff. I messed up setting up my car somehow. But over here, when I click on this, we only have open in browser. It shows me the preview thing for the image there. And it says the title. So here's all the settings that I added there. When I click open in browser, it opens in a new tab to the listing. Awesome. That worked. When I click on this one, it shows the name, it shows the image, and it has all the buttons that I wanted it to have. Wonderful. There's my scrolling Velociraptor. He's still kicking it there. And over here, I don't think I changed anything in this room. So I should come back into here and add a title, add a description for these things. Also, open in browser. I kind of feel like taking that button away because I have so many screens in this room. It's like it's meant to view the stuff in the room. So if it's not really meant to link in a new tab, I could just go into here in the Play Canvas editor, which I already closed, and remove the open in browser button. So my only options are to view it in world. And there we have it. That is updating your old Play Canvas project. I'm sorry, your old Somnium Web Worlds SDK Play Canvas project to the new Somnium Web Worlds SDK version, which is version 0.1.1, and how to deploy that or update your current deployment to it. I'm going to go ahead and troubleshoot whatever I did to make my police car here not work the way that I want it to work. And that should be a wrap on the VOD. Now, I'm going to continue working on the live stream here since I still have time and see if I could troubleshoot this a little. I've got to go back to Play Canvas and make sure the projects go into the theater and editor. And then in a new tab, I want to go and open the template. Here it is. Okay, we're looking good here, we're looking good here. This thing, it's got a collision on it. It's got a rigid body on it. It's got a go button. And those things. What does mine have on it? a collision on it. I've got a rigid body. Yep. URL is there. Unless it's here. There's a go button and it doesn't have the enroll button. New tab button. Okay, that looks pretty correct. I think I know why, and it will be fixed. It won't be a problem for other people. Okay. That pretty much wraps up the stream for today. There's going to be a couple changes to make things easier for everybody, but that all is going to happen real quickly, and I'll do that after the stream. So what I'm going to do now is do a second demonstration of kind of what I was demonstrating earlier with my friend in here of the new features and what it's like to use them. Let's do it. I kind of want to turn on my webcam and show my webcam on the in-world screen. Or on the TV head screen. But the thing is, my webcam is plugged into a completely different computer than the one that I'm streaming right now. So here we go. I'm on this video. I could talk over here in this land, and then I can show what happens behind me in the VOD, just like I did a second ago. Cool. Now, I'm not going to have other people walking around here, but maybe I'll do a better job of explaining what things are. Okay, so a short little VOD segment here live for everybody, recapping the Watch Together feature in 5, 4, 3. You don't say the 2 and 1. Hey everybody, I'm here to show you the... One more time. We're doing like a VOD live, so bear with me here. Hello everybody, I'm here to show you how to use the new feature in Somnium Web, which is the Watch Together feature. It's what lets you watch videos in the world along with all of your guests at the same time. Not only videos, but live streams, or you can just tune everybody into your web browser, your website at the same time. You have to be a parcel moderator to have this new button on the menu I'm about to show you, the View Together button. Parcel moderator means you're either the parcel owner, or you're a VIP set for the parcel event, or you are rented the parcel, like as a builder or something like that. And all that you have to do after you're logged in and you're on there, let's say that you're surrounded by a bunch of your friends here, you click on the screen, any screen, just like normal, and you'll see the new button that is the View Together button. When you click that, it'll kind of feel like nothing different has happened. However, when you nothing different than just viewing in the world. However, if you look down in the bottom left, it tells you here that the View Together was started, and it tells you the website that it was started on. What this means is that everybody that was standing in the world with you when you click this, they're going to instantly tune into this Twitch stream or whatever you have, whatever you viewed together. You're all going to tune into it together at the same time and watch it together. If it's something like a live stream, it works out really well because everybody's viewing the same part of the thing automatically when they click on something. If you click on on something like a YouTube video to watch together, that works out great in most cases when it starts from the beginning. However, if somebody joins late, then their video will start from the beginning for them too. Kind of like to make sure they watch the whole thing. So you just have to keep that in mind, that if you shouldn't watch like a 2-hour YouTube video in here and expect people that drop in halfway through for it to be synced. But if you do a live stream, anybody that drops in halfway through, they'll be tuning in right where everybody else is viewing. So things like YouTube videos, new people that join late will see the whole thing. Things like live streams, they drop in, they see the live stuff. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what types of media you'll want to be walking around and doing this View Together stuff on. One more thing about the view together. Let's say that you have a group here and you want to group view several videos in sequence that you have in the lobby here. Everybody's hanging out watching the screens. You can go straight from one to the other. So you go over here and you click view together. Everybody in the world is standing over here looking up there watching this amazing community-made Somnium trailer here. Then when you're done with that trailer and you want to move on to the next video, you don't even need to stop that one. You can just click on the next one, click view together. Since I used view together on both of these, Somnium understands what I'm trying to do. It stops the old one, it starts the new one, not just for me, but for everybody that's in the space with me. And we're watching the other video. That is how view together works. You can have some really good video premieres using this, or just hang out with your friends watching videos that you have prepared in your space. It all depends on what you're doing in your parcel, in your web world. So, hope you have a lot of fun with that. I'm gonna do a peace sign at the end of the VOD there. That was gold! I don't know, I didn't watch the playback, but that seemed good to me. The dialogue was good. Got to the point, not a lot of rambling. But yeah, to the people watching live also, yes, that's what it's about. And it's pretty exciting to be able to consume media with your friends. Also, the clicking on 3D objects and stuff like that, you can use to really, a lot of different purposes out of your parcel. This parcel that I'm in right now, it's kind of like a video playlist, community hangout kind of place. The Somnium Theater world that I'm in here. But there's another demo world, which I will probably jump to in a second since I have a little time. Maybe I'll update that one to the newest version. And you could use your parcel not as a hangout space, not as a video premiere space, those are good uses, but you could use it as a storefront, which is also a popular thing for people want to do in the metaverse. They want to have a metaverse storefront. Maybe you could build like an awesome store, and it's like a pop-up store, and it's different every month. And you have different products linked out to that you're selling to on your site, maybe other people's products on your storefront. So you would be like a metaverse storefront venue at that point. That's another thing you can do. So let's show a little bit of that while I again show what it's like to update things to the newest versions of the SDK. We'll go quicker this time, quicker. Here, okay, we have the Web Worlds version 1. Whatever thing open already. Okay, that's the newest version of the Somnium Web Worlds SDK. Down here, we're going to go to the storefront project. This is another one that I was half through updating. It's okay, we can finish updating it on the stream here. So I opened up both projects, my old project that I want to update and the current Web Worlds SDK on the other menu, on the other tab. Okay, we're all loaded in here almost. Okay, now we're all loaded in. What we're going to do is go to the Web World prefab asset folder, make sure none of our own custom assets are in here. They aren't. So I'll go ahead and delete that because I don't have any assets to move over there. Now we're going to go copy the Web Worlds prefab asset folder out of the template, paste it into the root of our old project, and there, now we have our thing back. I'm going to go into the scripts, make sure that I reload or reparse these two scripts. Now there's going to be one more step, and that is going and first of all, make sure you don't have any of your own things under the Web Worlds prefab here. I don't. And we're talking about the Web Worlds prefab entity in the scene hierarchy now, not an asset folder. We're talking about the scene hierarchy. Now I'm going to delete the Web Worlds prefab from my scene hierarchy, okay? And then I'm going to copy the Web Worlds prefab out of the base template, paste it over here. And now that's good. And now when I click launch, I'll be able to walk around and everything will look about the same. But now I'm going to start using the new features to kind of configure this. And we're done, by the way. We're done updating our SDK version, our Web Worlds SDK version from the old version to the new version, just with those handful of steps that we did right there. And we are rolling. Okay. Now let's take advantage of some of the new features. One thing is, I messed up. I deleted an asset that I didn't want to delete. Not really. I didn't really delete it. I moved it out of the folder beforehand. But let's do this. We're going to copy. We're going to get a new material onto this thing by making a new material here, and we'll call it shoe video material. And the thing we're gonna put on it is shoe shop. Oh no, I did it wrong. Control Z. I need to assign the shoe material to this thing. So this is not part of updating the project, by the way. This is just something else. And then over here for shoe video, that's where I want to put shoe shop. To diffuse. No. Here is where I want to put shoe shop. To diffuse, and also into emissive. Oh, just to diffuse. Okay. There. All right. I got my video back. Now I'm going to utilize some more stuff that we got here. We're going to turn this into. We're going to give this an image. Do shoe shop. Open square. Here's square. Okay, I'm going to do that thing real quick. Again, I didn't have foresight when I made these images square. I should have not made them square. So they look good in the UI. Shoe shop thumb. I'll call this. And this is the image I want to use here. Not basis compressed. You can't basis compress the images that you use as your UI images. And over here we'll call shoe video. Okay, now I don't want this to open in a new, I don't even want it to be possible to open in a new tab because I know this is just a video and I only want them to be able to view it in World. And then we got the button to view it in World. Yes, we want that. Resolution is auto, perfect. Autoplay. I'm tempted to because this is music, but I don't want the music to play automatically every time. That might be annoying to people, so we won't do autoplay. Cool, that's all the settings we want to do for that. How about for this one? Do we want to change anything here? Yeah, sure. We want to do that weird thing that I do with making the image look good. I didn't have foresight. It's like the fourth time I have to mention this. Oh wait, oh, this one's fine. Okay, it's not really optimized, but it is fine. It's ready to go. Maybe I accidentally had foresight there. And I'm going to put, what is this? T-shirt display as the thumbnail. And we'll say T-shirt inventory as the text. And we want to have a button. Now I'm just thinking, do we want to even be able to open our T-shirt inventory in a new window? No, I don't think so. So I'm going to take that away because the idea of this site, this web world, was just to have the T-shirt inventory on the in-world screen, and then that would link out, which makes sense. It's like GTA 5 style shop. Okay, now the other thing, the last thing perhaps that we will try to take advantage of here will be turning the 3D object into a clickable link. Let's take another shot at this. This needs a component, and on the component we want a physics collision. We'll do a sphere here, about yay big, and then also we want a rigid body, static. All right. Oh no, we also want a script. And we want some web browser, and we want to say that this is just to, I don't know, eBay. Just say it goes to eBay. Resolution doesn't matter, autoplay doesn't matter. Here we'll say eBay. I'll just say eBay, it's just an example. For the shoes, we'll put, we'll just use the default image for the shoes, for this thing that pops up. And we don't want to, wait, let me think here. No, we don't want a button go. We want a button in a new tab. We don't want a button for in-world. Cool. We're good. Those are all the changes that I want to make to this while updating it to the new Web SDK version, Web Worlds SDK version. We're ready to go over here and do build and publish, download, select all, optimize, and download. Catch up on any chat that I may be missing. Block Muse! Whoop whoop! Welcome to the stream. Okay, let's download this. Storefront2.zip. Okay, whatever. Since I already had one of these in here. Don't pin it to start. Don't pin it to start? What does that even mean? No, we're gonna extract to storefront2. Yeah. Alright, now it's time to upload this. Where did I have this uploaded to? It's gotta be at one of my repos. On GitHub, probably. Hopefully. Well, yeah, it would have to be. It's the only place I upload stuff. Storefront demo. Alright. Add file, upload files. And we're going to upload all this. I'm going to say updated Web Worlds version 2.0.1.1. Wait for it to upload while it does all that. Files is not even lagging up my internet connection on the stream. That's nice. Let's see if they can do 90. 88's close enough. Okay, commit changes. All right, and then we wait for not one but two progress menus. While that's happening, I have to remember what parcel this was on. I'll do that on another computer here. Number 2701. Okay, let's go to the GitHub Pages environment. 15 days ago is the last time that it did deployment. That's not right. Let's click refresh. It's still waiting. I just have to sit here twiddling my animated thumbs until this does its thing. It's like a cloud process that GitHub does to copy your repos to your deployment. Okay, cool. I clicked refresh again after a few moments, and now we see that I have something in pending. Okay, what happens if I click refresh again? We're still pending. Now we're queued. I clicked refresh until we're queued. And now we're in progress. This is exciting. I wonder why it doesn't just change in real time. It's like they want me to sit here pressing refresh. We're active. If we wanted to test it, we could click on, I'll go through testing it. We click on this, it takes you to our GitHub URL. This should look exactly like it does when you are testing from the SDK. Cool. All right, I think we're good. Now, this was already deployed to our parcel, so we don't need to do anything. We just have to go to parcel 2701, and the changes will be here. Isn't that lovely? You don't even have to do anything. You don't have to go in, log in, nothing. You already did that. You just have to update what you have hosted in your deployment. You're good to go. Okay, let's see how well we turned out here. The shoes work! If the shoes work, why didn't my hovercraft work? I don't know. I thought that I did it the same. Apparently I didn't do it exactly the same because this one, this is a 3D object, the shoe. It works. Notice how when I click on the shoe, there is no view in world because it doesn't have a screen. I assigned it specifically to the shoe. Okay, we don't want to open in browser. If we did, it would go straight to eBay on a new browser. All right, that's good. Now let's try the thing we did to the video. When we click on the video, it's got only view in world. And because I'm a parcel moderator for this parcel, it also has view together. But for normal guests, it would only have view in world, not view together. And that's wonderful. I click that. I have the audio muted, so we don't get the audio issues going on. But this is tiptoeing in my Jordans. Tiptoeing in my Jordans. It's just a shoe-related video that I thought would go with the store. So let me just go over here and close that. This is another web browser that I just modified in the SDK to only have view in world, not open to a new tab. Also, we'll notice that it has my typo and everything. I just noticed I did capital N for the title here, and it's showing the image. Same thing for tiptoeing on my Jordans. It says shoe video, just like we wanted it to. And we can view this in world or view it together. Okay. Success! More of a success than our first attempt because I screwed up my police car in the first one somehow. Everything went as planned in this one. All right. Let me think here. I can't think of one of the web worlds that I made in the past that absolutely would benefit from these new features. Most of the web worlds I create are example web worlds. So I'm hoping that with what you all have witnessed today, in combination with the documentation and all the other stuff on the GitLab, that you all can create some amazing multifunctional things with these new expanded web browser objects. Like the examples we were showing here, you can make your own 3D metaverse storefront. Now, when you're talking about these 3D metaverse storefronts, it's important to note the social aspect to them. People they're multiplayer. They have video chat. They got text chat. Hello, welcome to our store. So if you actually wanted to hang out in your metaverse store all day long to greet customers in person, avatar person, you could. Not only with text chat, but you could do it with video chat. I don't have my webcam plugged into here, but you can make your the video screen TV head appear, so it's actually your video thing on there. Your actual voice greeting people, sending them emotes like hello. Your little TV head wobbles around while you wave and all that kind of stuff. So the social aspect is a huge perk to having your storefront in one of these multiplayer environments. And it's really cool when you show up on a parcel and there's somebody there that you're interested in talking with, because then you spend like an hour or two on the parcel just talking to this person. When if you would have came to the parcel when nobody was there, what are you going to do? And that brings me to the second tip for making good web parcels. Make sure that there's media content for people to consume if they show up even when nobody else is there. If they show up between events. Have a highlight video on the wall. In this world, you could come and you could watch the Jordan's music video. That's at least 4 minutes and 46 seconds of entertainment, even if nothing else is happening on this parcel when you showed up. And the other tip is be casual, be optimized. And here's why. If you wanted to be super high fidelity and target like full-on Tesla suits where you can feel people touching you with full body tracking and VR and all that, you'd want to build not a web world, but you'd want to build a full desktop VR world. And it'd be super high detail. We're talking 4K textures and all that kind of stuff. And you can do that if you own a web world. If you own a desktop VR world. If you just own a regular parcel, you can build using the Unity SDK on the desktop client and do some very impressive things with material shaders and things like that. But that's for the high-end people that are super immersive. Now, if you want to reach the people that aren't so immersive, we're talking about people that maybe don't have VR gear, maybe don't even have a gaming computer, maybe they're accessing your web parcel here just with any device that has a web browser. We're talking laptops and potato phones, or phones that aren't of best quality, is what I mean by potato phones. You can target those people with your web world if you are careful about how you optimize stuff. So when you're targeting these kind of people that are on casual, low-end devices like laptops on little touchpads or mobile phones, these are usually more casual people than the hardcore people that have gaming computers and VR. So maybe they're not even that used to 3D worlds. Maybe even walking around in a 3D world and knowing how to like go through a door and then go around the corner, that could be a completely new experience to casual people, because we're talking about people that all they got to do is click on the link in your tweet to get to this thing. So you're going to have, it's low friction, you're going to have a lot of noobs just dropping in, and you want to be noob friendly is what I'm talking about right now. So how can you be noob friendly to people that maybe don't even know how to play a video game, but they clicked on your link and they found themselves at your 3D store or whatever it is? First tip, make it so they don't need to learn how to turn. So learning how to turn, a lot of us take it for granted. Like, yeah, I know how to turn, but knowing how to turn well, knowing how to turn the computer well, that's like the difference, or turn the camera well. It's like the difference between a normie person and a pro gamer. A pro gamer turns the camera so well that they get a headshot every time, and they're just turning the camera. They're turning the camera to point at a specific place. So while us that have experience in these 3D worlds might be like, yeah, that's not a big deal, everybody knows how to turn the camera, it's not exactly true when you're on something that's so low friction that somebody just clicks the link to get there. So don't take for granted that your visitor knows how to turn the camera. And for that reason, make it so they just gotta walk straight. A walking simulator. We're talking about New World, that Amazon MMO game, that level of walking simulator, where when you spawn in, you are right in front of where you want them to go, and they're facing where you want them to go, and all they got to do is press the forward arrow, which is kind of natural to people, and they'll walk in, and they're already well on their way to experiencing the thing because they got inside. That's the first step. The next thing you want to do, two things I'll cover here. You don't want to overwhelm your visitor with too much content. So while we, especially as world builders, we're putting all this stuff together, it's like, okay, we need more stuff. We need more stuff. We got an empty spot on the wall. Let's put something over here. We got an empty spot on the floor or out here. Let's put like a mountain range and a whole neighborhood and a whole shopping center out here or something like that. Let's just make it more epic. That might be our first inclination. But to people that are very casual, they're very new to the whole thing. We're talking about they might not even know how to turn side to side. You don't want to overwhelm these people with sensory overload. So by spawning somebody into a blank, almost a blank plane like this here, it might look weird to somebody that plays a lot of games, but to somebody that doesn't play games, it's clear. It's clear that what do you do in this world? You don't run down the street and, steal a car. It's not GTA. What do you do in this world? You walk, you check out this store. This store is the only thing in here. Now, after you get inside, there's more content. But it really says like, hey, this is what you're doing in this world. Here's the store. Come check it out. What is this store about? Well, there's a single object in the environment, in this big matrix loading plane here, that says, hey, it's a fashion model. This is a store. It's like a clothing store. Yeah, okay, so you've already established a brand new person that spawned into here. There's one thing to do here. It's a store. It's a fashion store. You're supposed to walk forward, which is what this runway thing helps with too. Not a whole city, not 1,000 things out there. We're trying to be super casual friendly here. And then when you get inside, there's something that I didn't do here that you should do to target these kind of casual people. And that is explain to them how to do things. So for me, just spawning out here and I'm like, oh, it's pretty natural. People would just press the forward arrow to walk in. You might not even want to take that for granted. You might want to put a little poster like right here that has a sign on it, like a little marquee sign on it that says, press W to walk forward, or hold the up arrow to walk forward. Sometimes I do it without using words. I just I have a diagram with a phone, like a picture of a phone for phone people, right? Because we're talking about maybe they come on their phone. And it shows a little arrow next to where the analog stick is on the phone UI. And it's like, use this to walk around. Touch the screen and drag to look around. And those are the phone controls. And I have those in here. Now, I usually only put the phone controls for walking around. And here's why. I figure people on phones are more likely to not know how to walk around in a game. Somebody that's on a computer, even if it's a laptop, they're on a computer. So they're kind of, they might still be casual, but they're a higher level of casual. So you can kind of expect more out of somebody that has a full keyboard sitting in front of them. They're not used to just tapping and swiping. They're used to, okay, it's the keyboard, there's all these different buttons, and there's arrow buttons, and when there's arrow buttons, it's kind of natural to press the arrow button. So for PC people, maybe you don't really need to have the instructions for how to walk, but it is useful to have it for phone people, just to hold their hand as they casually experience all this new stuff to them. Because a lot of this could be new stuff to them. And then when you get into here, you want to have posters that tell people to interact with your content. I have a little bit of that here. I have these little things here that tell you what kind of content it is. That says that this is a website. That says that this is a video. So people kind of know what to expect, but you actually might want to go as far as like replacing this palm tree with another one of those little info marquee boards that says, click to see t-shirt inventory. Click the screen to see t-shirt inventory. The whole thing. Just so there's no doubt, or tap the screen if you're going to keep targeting phone people with your words. Just some way, just tell them what to do, because when you drop somebody into your world and you're not there as like the salesperson and you're not greeting them like, hey, how are you? Looking for something particular today? So if you're not there doing that kind of stuff, they kind of have to figure that out on their own. And that's what these billboard signs or little info signs will do for them. If they're standing here, nobody else is here, and they're looking at the wall, they might not realize that they have to tap the screen or click on the screen to interact. So you need that billboard there in that case to kind of walk them through it. Another thing you could do, which is pretty neat, is you could put an NPC, like a player model, any player model, because it's just going to stand there and play an animation. You could put it over here standing behind the desk or something, and then make a texture that looks like it's a little chat bubble, and it's saying, welcome, or click on the screens to see our inventory if you put the little NPC model over there. Oh, hey, somebody else joined. No, that's not what I want. I want to wave. Wave. Hello. Okay. So yeah, be super casual, be super informative, and be super optimized. Optimized is really important if you want to target phones, in particular iPhones. And also mobile VR. You have to make the decision if you want to target mobile VR or not, because look, somebody went into the bathroom. Of course. If you want to target mobile VR, you have to be super optimized. Cool. If you don't care about targeting VR and you care about targeting phones, not as optimized. If you're only targeting laptops, you just at that point, if you don't care about phones, you don't care about mobile VR, you got to be like, well, what kind of computer am I targeting? Am I targeting a potato computer, like a super low-powered laptop, or am I targeting a gaming computer? Because if you're targeting, oh, this person's invading my space. What do you do when somebody invades your space? You dance. If you're just figuring out, okay, this person has a computer. Is it a gaming computer? Or am I targeting laptops? If you decide that the people that you're going to be, the traffic that you're going to be driving to your web world are people on a gaming computer, you can go nuts. You can put all kinds of high resolution textures and things like that. Well, I'm talking to this guy here. We don't have our real shoe store inventory yet. So we got a music video on the wall back there. Oh, the text was too long to fit. Okay, let's go try the watch together thing. I'm gonna walk over here. If this person wants to hang out, I don't know who this person is. Okay, that person left. That's okay. I was just gonna walk over here and I was gonna do the view together. That person may have thought this was a complete store. This is just a demo store with sample inventory, so I didn't really have a sales pitch prepared to give to him. But if this was a real thing, you would have that sales pitch. So yeah, optimize. You have to know how optimized you need to get by what you want to target, what kind of traffic you're expecting to drive to your web world, your web parcel. And the most optimized if you're targeting mobile VR. Next is if you're targeting mobile phones, especially iPhones, which have a strict requirement for how fast the site needs to be. And then there is targeting a computer, like a laptop, and then the highest in the spectrum is targeting a gaming computer. Now, if somebody's checking out your web world on a gaming computer, they might be able to check out your full-on VR world inside of the desktop client too. So that's something to think about. All right, I think that's going to conclude the stream for today. I'm going to go and tidy up some things with the documentation on the Web Worlds update, and I will catch y'all on Friday for the exciting next stream. The next build stream, which will likely be a Web Worlds stream, and we'll see what it will be. Maybe Web Worlds, maybe another parcel build thing. I actually did a regular parcel, easy mode parcel builder, like the built-in Somnium builder last week, for last week's stream. It was wonderful. Easy mode builder there. It was nice and relaxing. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I'll see y'all on Friday. Friday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time is when the stream normally goes down. And that's probably when it will go down on Friday. Peace out, everybody.